Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far as we continue to wonder which players might find themselves on starting at Pro League rosters for next year. Frosty, former Call of Duty professional of course during Modern Warfare and Black Ops 4 before that, but also a legendary Halo player that is returning to that title now, certainly has a few words to say, kind of roasting some of the players you could well argue that are going down this challenger's route once again. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, thank you very much indeed for doing that. It is free after all. This firstly from the flank, good morning at Washington Justice. Methods potentially getting ready to join that organisation over there if that is indeed the case. A lot of talk lately about what's going on with him because he's technically an unrestricted free agent from Toronto, but I think they're just kind of letting him explore options. This also came out yesterday from him, last day in Toronto with the best internet on earth at Bell, so maybe kind of interesting he was like well, do this kind of sponsored tweet or whatever if he's no longer going to be a part of Toronto. At the same time, he's obviously leaving. I mean, this internet is just outrageous. Like, look at this stuff. I would upload a video in like 30 seconds, if not less. But anyway, last day in Toronto, best internet on earth. He's leaving for a time, but not necessarily mean that he's going to leave Toronto like as an organisation. But he has been saying right here, like a lot of people saying, you know, he's going home to Jersey for a little time. But yeah, leaving Toronto for the time being. Certainly enjoys his time in Toronto though as well. So definitely a big discussion on what's going on there. But of course, certainly some players find themselves in a precarious position where they might not be well necessarily competing in the Pro League for next season. Methods, I'm pretty sure, has kind of indicated that yeah, if he doesn't get a spot in the Pro League, he's not necessarily going to do the grind through challenges. Makes more sense for a guy like Methods to, you know, maybe stick around and do streaming and stuff like this. But other players are certainly in a precarious spot. You look at some of the players that have formerly been in the Pro League the last year or so, the likes of TJ, Slack, for example. What do you do if you are those guys? Are you grinding through challenges for another year with the intention that when the league expands, hopefully, if it doesn't happen this year, which we don't imagine it will at this point, if it expands in 2022, you know, into the 2023 season, then you're going to get a spot back in the league. But grinding through challenges is a tough time. There's not an awful amount of money to be made. It's very difficult. There's so many concerns. There's like the hacking issues that can go on. There's also all the talk about teams that will like screw you over with the host advantages and stuff like this, that it just makes challenges a pretty painful experience to deal with. And it's kind of understandable why the likes of Slasher and Huke, for example, who after getting benched off their team, didn't really decide to go down to challenges. Same thing with accuracy. They knew they could maintain their stock without playing it, and therefore they decided not to. Some players felt like they needed to do that, and of course, like at the end of the day, if you are some of these players, you need to make some money at the end of the day, and challenges and these tournaments can be a way to do that, but it's not a particularly predictable way to do so. So Frosty, of course, who has, well, done some great things in Call of Duty in the past, was recently announced as, well, in our top 10 of the Halo top 25, goes to Frosty. I'm not too familiar with well, Halo Esports in general, so maybe you guys let me know if this is a fair discussion or not about Frosty, but a lot of people would say that right now he's one of the very best players in the entire game that is returning to Halo, of course, for Halo Infinite. But of course, when Halo was kind of in its lull period, when Halo 5 was kind of coming to an end and there wasn't really any tournaments going on, he decided to come over to Call of Duty. You can see right here, like 2019 time, it is time to get a chip in CoD. This was even after he'd had a pretty good season in Black Ops 4 and Enigma 6 towards the end of the year. We'll have a look at here in just a second. But of course, also he goes on to the Florida Mutineers last year. It was a very big piece of this team, to be honest. I thought he was a really crucial member, a very solid player indeed when he came into this squad. They won like 3 events with Frosty, I believe, in the team. As you can see right here, this team, which was really, really good for a time during Modern Warfare. But of course, Frosty at the end of the title didn't really have the friendships and the relationships, especially when it went back to 4v4 in Call of Duty, to actually maintain himself a spot for the next title. And well, he's obviously gone back to Halo now, and certainly has a few words to say on well, the players that are deciding to play challenges. Effectively saying, look, would you play challenges alongside playing Halo Infinite? And I mean, he says, well, absolutely no way. I'm definitely retiring from Call of Duty in that sense. Of course, he kind of wanted to get a spot back in the CoD League. We'll have a look at it here in just a second. But certainly suggesting, look, I don't want to play in challenges. A lot of these other players maybe are wasting their time, given well, given he'd rather go work at McDonald's than actually go down to challenges once again.
Is there any way you play challengers and Infinite this year? Fuck no. What the hell? Bro, challengers, like, no bullshit. Rather work at McDonald's than playing challengers. I would not disrespect myself that much. Thank you.
So it's an interesting take from Frosty, right? Of course, it is very difficult in challenges to actually, dominate and make a lot of money and make things work. At the end of the day, you're trying to play challenges to get a spot in the Pro League, which of course you can achieve for a guy like Frosty, like of course a veteran of Halo, and also Call of Duty played it for a number of years as well. Then I mean, this clip is actually pretty disgusting here on a frequency with the Paladin. Then of course, for Frosty it makes a lot of sense for him not to play challenges. For younger and up and coming players, of course, that is realistically your only route to actually get into the Pro League. But I think maybe players like in a similar position to Frosty, you could say, were the kind of veteran players that have been around a very long time. Should they actually be playing challenges, or should they just give up and go down a different route and just say, okay, the Call of Duty is just not worth it at this point? Of course, look, with expansion probably coming at some point or another, you could well argue that it's still worth it. But yeah, he's definitely saying that look, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't put myself through that. I value myself more than to play challenges, which is certainly true in Frosty's case, because of course he's considered one of the greatest, if not the best player in Halo right now. But even for other Call of Duty players, you could well argue in a similar boat. But these are his achievements. I thought I'd just go through real quick. So this, of course, are Frosty tournament results last year on Florida Mutineers. These are the LAN events he attended. So second at Atlanta when he was on this squad, when Frostini was on the team at the time. And before that, in Black Ops 4, we had this Enigma 6 team that did some decent things, but also at the World Championship, I mean, he had a bit of a disaster right there, top 24. But again, they had some decent results, top 5, 6 in Anaheim, Fort Worth. He was a solid player that title when there was really nothing going on in the Halo world. These were some of the online tournaments that they played then, so you can see victories here at Dallas, Minnesota, and the Paris Legion home series, where they won all of these events with Frosty on board during that kind of online era that kicked off from April 2020. So really impressive from Frosty, to be honest. Of course, this also his career in Halo. I just thought I'd bring this up for you guys real quick, because this is just absolutely outrageous. LAN events from CLG to OpTic Gaming to TOX throughout this entire period, never failing to make a grand final. Pretty outrageous. Of course, now returning for Halo Infinite. But yeah, certainly some questions to be had, because as Frosty said, after that season, really during this season, actually March 2021, wish I would have had the chance to play CoD this year, especially seeing all these team changes. I just know I would benefit a lot of these teams, but probably just didn't have the relationships built up in Call of Duty and the friendship league that we talk about to actually make it work. But it would have been very interesting to see, and as he says, I don't want to devalue myself by going down to play challenges this year, even though he did kind of hint at he might consider that if Halo Infinite wasn't really coming out for quite a while. But it now, of course, is being released, I'm pretty sure, the early part of December. Zero competitive integrity over here in the COD scene. You all are weird, because there were so many issues going on in the challenger side that year. And of course, this is during the end of the Modern Warfare season, right, when all the glitches were being discovered in the game that some of these pros and amateurs were potentially abusing it to their advantage. Guys like Mohawk as well, that's kind of the question mark for guys like him, right, who hasn't really made it in the Pro League as of yet. But of course, that's really your only option to continue playing in challenges, because Frosty, of course, has plenty of options to fall back on, the likes of actually being a top tier professional player in Halo on a big name team. But yeah, for guys like Mohawk and other players as well, it becomes somewhat more difficult. Fire 40 as well, another good example right here. I remembered this actually from June that I thought was kind of entertaining, when he beat Methods in one of these tournaments, and then kind of tweeted this out, and there was a little bit of drama that went on the timeline as a result of it. I'll just share this clip for you guys real quick that came out from Method's stream a few days ago now, when he's kind of saying, look, do you want to team up with Fire 40 and challenges? And Method is like, yeah, that's not going to be the case. Pretty much, I believe, because he's not looking to play challenges in its entirety regardless.
Yo, Tony, Fire 40 tweeted you. He's down a team. You guys might streak.
Yeah, I'd rather put my balls in a NutriBullet.
Damn.
No offense to Fire 40, but there's levels to this game.
Would you team with me?
No.
If I was, what? You didn't even let me finish.
Listen,
Saints is someone in a similar spot, right? It's somewhat difficult for Saints to say, after having so much success in Call of Duty for a number of years, now being in this spot where he's been in challenges the last couple of titles and having a difficult time of it. And of course, he did have a shot, I believe, to get in the Pro League this year, but it didn't work out. Like, do you stick it out? Do you go for one more year? Do you try and find a situation with the team change this upcoming season? It's a difficult decision to make for some of these players, but if there's not too many fallback options, what can he realistically do? And to be fair, the top challenges players generally from Modern Warfare, for example, the Breaking Point did right here, generally they got picked up into the Pro League at some point or another. Hydra, Pred, Afro, Standy, Fire, Seal, Insight, FeLo, Diamondcon, Parasite, for example. Nasty's coming in as well. There's other players that will find themselves in the Pro League as a result of their performances in challenges. It does happen that there is a lot of turnover, but you find a lot of these players are kind of the newer up-and-coming players. They're not necessarily looking to take a chance on a veteran talent that has been around Call of Duty for a number of years and is now in challenges, and maybe that's kind of where Frosty's like, you might be wasting your time here with some of these players if you are still competing in the Challenger side. This, of course, another option for what Challengers could do, at least what the CDL could do to kind of take that a step in the right direction, would be to force all the CoD League teams to actually have an academy squad as well. That I'm sure would prop up the second tier of the scene, but it is not something that necessarily seems to be coming relatively soon. But of course, I'll keep my eyes on everything that it's the timeline. But very much intrigued your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. Really upset that YouTube are gonna know you enjoy this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and help grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you much as always. Take care, and I will see you next time.
Brian, I just got hyped. I just got a gifted sub.
Dude, dog, you're going nuts in the chat right now.
Wait, are you hearing me talk?
Oh, Joe.
Oh my gosh! What is happening? What is happening? Oh! Oh! Oh my god! It's my year! I'm cracked!
They're cracked without me? It's kind of
Oh my god! Somebody clip it! What is happening? Ah! Ah!
They may get around on the board.
Oh, they better. They better.
They may.
I don't know any more methods.
You don't have to do that.
And a 1 versus 4 has turned it into a 1v2. Aqua might
What
give
are
a
we
freebie
doing?
as well. Hold that. The nade is going to connect. Find a spot. People on both sides. Wins the first. Tries to snap to the second. 15 seconds to go. 1 versus
read it.
1. He spots him.
Oh,
He spots him.
Methods!
Methods 1v4. 6-0. And that just cannot happen.